Welcome, the spicy lady. The woman who walks her own path rarely needs to announce it. She simply leaves footprints others cannot follow. Imagine a woman who turns down promotions everyone else chases, who steps back from relationships that look perfect on paper, and who finds strength in silence when the world expects her to fight or explain herself. She does not fit the usual stories we hear about strong women. SpicyLady-Sigma live by rules that feel completely backwards to most people. Yet these choices quietly shape lives of rare freedom and depth in everyday moments you might. Notice her canceling plans that others would kill to attend, or choosing quiet evenings alone over crowded events that promise connections. She ends friendships without big arguments and walks away from opportunities that seem like once-in-a-lifetime chances. To outsiders, these moves look strange, even self-destructive. Why pull away when things are going well? Why stay private when sharing everything brings attention and support? The truth runs deeper. These decisions come from a sharp understanding of what actually drains a person versus what builds her. SpicyLady-Sigma sees hidden costs in things society calls success. They protect their time, their thinking, and their peace in ways that feel odd, but deliver real results over years. They build inner steadiness that does not crack under pressure or trends. This is not about being mysterious for show. It is about making hard calls that most avoid because they fear being misunderstood. Stick with this until the end. You will see 9 specific things that reveal how these backwards habits create a quieter, sharper kind of power most never reach. Be why the final point. The whole picture shifts, and you may spot these patterns in your own life or in women around you. Let's dive deeper. The spicy lady. Number 1, they prepare for betrayal from everyone, including themselves, as baseline realism, not paranoia. This leads to structures, mental, financial, social, that assume impermanence. Trust is a beautiful thing, but smart women build their lives knowing it can shift without warning. Here is something most people never talk about openly. SpicyLady-Sigma prepare for betrayal from everyone, including themselves, as simple baseline realism, not some dark paranoia. They wake up each day understanding that feelings change, people change, and even their own desires can flip tomorrow. Instead of hoping things stay perfect forever, they quietly build structures that expect change. This one habit quietly separates them from women who end up shocked and broken when life turns. Think about money first. She might keep separate savings accounts, avoid joint big purchases too early, or keep skills sharp so she can always support herself. It is not about doubting her partner. It is about knowing jobs disappear, relationships end, and health issues can hit any one point. One woman I know of turned down merging finances completely, even after years together. Friends called her cold. 5 years later, when her partner lost everything in a bad investment, she was the one who kept the household stable without resentment. That preparation saved the relationship, not destroyed in friendships and family. She keeps emotional boundaries that feel distant to others. She enjoys the good times fully, but does not tie her whole happiness to one person. If a close friend starts drifting or changes in ways that no longer fit, she feels the shift early and adjusts instead of clinging. No big fallout, just calm acceptance that nothing lasts exactly as it is. Even with herself, she stays honest. She knows her mood today might not match her mood in 6 months. So she avoids making huge permanent decisions in the heat of strong emotions. She builds mental habits like journaling or solo reflection time that help her check her own thoughts regularly. This stops her from betraying her own future self through impulsive choices she later regrets. This way of thinking feels backwards to many. Why live expecting the worst? But for her, it is not expecting the worst. It is refusing to be surprised by reality. It creates freedom. When things stay good, she enjoys them deeper because she chose them, not because she was trapped. When they change, she moves forward with her head clear and her life still intact. Most women build on hope and connection. She builds on truth and self-reliance. That single difference gives her a steady power that lasts through every season of life. It is wisdom disguised as caution. And once you see it, you start noticing how many heartbreaks could have been softer with this mindset. Number 2, They prioritize aesthetic or intellectual useless pursuits over career acceleration. Deep dives into art, philosophy, niche crafts, or solo travel that yield no LinkedIn fodder. Some of the best investments in life pay nothing on paper and everything where it actually matters. SpicyLady-Sigma do something that looks completely backwards in today's success-driven world. They pour real time and energy into things that seem totally useless for climbing the career ladder. Painting just for the joy of it. Reading thick philosophy books that never help on a resume. Learning a musical instrument with no plans to perform. Taking solo trips to nowhere special just to think and wonder. While others stack certifications, network nonstop, and chase every promotion, she chooses these quiet pursuits that give zero LinkedIn updates. And somehow she ends up ahead in ways that matter most. Why does she do it? Because she understands something deep. The soul needs feeding, too. Constant career pushing without these pauses turns people into machines who burn out and lose their edge. Her so-called useless hobbies sharpen her mind and refill her creativity in ways no online course ever could. Picture this. A woman with a solid office job spends her evenings learning pottery. Not to sell vases online, but because shaping clay calms her thoughts and teaches her patience. At work, she starts solving problems with fresh eyes. Ideas flow easier. Stress bounces off her. Colleagues wonder why she seems so steady while they feel exhausted. Another woman reads old philosophy books on weekends instead of attending industry events. She learns how to question assumptions and handle uncertainty. When a company crisis hits, her clear thinking stands out. She gets trusted with bigger roles, not because she chased them, but because her mind grew stronger in the background. Solo travel works the same way. She might save up and disappear for 2 weeks to a quiet coastal town with nothing but books and long walks. No social media posts. No itinerary to impress anyone. She returns with a clearer sense of what she wants next in life. That inner clarity becomes the foundation for smarter career moves later. This habit looks like wasting time to outsiders. In reality, it creates balance that most high achievers secretly lack. She avoids the trap of measuring every hour by money or status. These pursuits build patience, depth, and originality. They remind her who she is when titles and paychecks change. In the long run, her career often grows stronger because she brings a richer, more interesting mind to the table. Most people chase speed. She chooses substance. That single choice gives her energy and perspective that cannot be copied. It is wisdom the world calls useless until it quietly wins. Number 3, they treat their own mind as the primary relationship, interrogating their thoughts with ruthless skepticism. While others seek therapy or partners for validation, they become their own harshest critic and most trusted advisor. The longest relationship you will ever have is with your own mind. SpicyLady-Sigma treat that truth with serious respect. SpicyLady-Sigma make their own mind the main relationship in their life. They talk to their thoughts the way other people talk to a best friend or a therapist, but with tough love and sharp questions. Instead of running to someone else for validation when doubt hits, they sit with their ideas, challenge them hard, and become their own harshest critic and most trusted advisor. It looks lonely from the outside. In truth, it creates a rock-solid inner strength most people never build. Everyday life shows this clearly. When she feels jealous or angry after a conversation, she does not call a friend to vent and get told she is right. She asks herself the hard questions. Was I truly hurt or did my ego get bruised? Is this feeling based on facts or old fears? She writes it down or walks alone thinking it through until the real answer appears. This habit saves her from repeating the same mistakes. Take career decisions. Many women ask their partner or colleagues whether they should take a new job. She sits with the idea first. She questions her reasons. Am I chasing money or running from boredom? Do I actually want this responsibility or does it just look good? By the time she decides, her choice feels clear and steady because it passed her own strict test. No second guessing later. In relationships, it works the same. When things feel off, she does not immediately seek reassurance from her partner. She checks her own heart first. Is this fear speaking or real incompatibility? Am I expecting him to fix things I should handle myself? This self-checking keeps her from emotional games and builds relationships based on truth instead of neediness. One woman shared how this saved her during a tough breakup. Instead of rushing into rebound dating or endless talks with friends, she took months alone. She questioned every story she told herself about what went wrong. She faced her own part in it without mercy. When she finally moved forward, she did it with clear eyes and no bitterness. Friends were shocked at how quickly she seemed whole again. This way of living demands courage. It means facing uncomfortable truths about yourself daily, but it pays back with freedom. You stop needing others to manage your emotions. You trust your own judgment because you have tested it over and over. Most people treat their mind like a noisy roommate they try to quiet with distractions or outside opinions. She treats it like a lifelong partner worth the honest work. That single difference gives her clarity, peace, and power that lasts through every change life brings. It is quiet wisdom that turns ordinary thinking into real self-mastery. Number 4, they choose financial or lifestyle minimalism despite high earning potential. Rejecting the upgrade spiral that traps high achievers. Real freedom is not having more. It is not needing more in the first place. SpicyLady-Sigma often earn good money, sometimes very good money, yet they choose to live with surprising simplicity. They reject the constant upgrade spiral that pulls most successful people deeper into stress. Bigger house, fancier car, expensive clothes, and endless lifestyle additions. While others chase the next level of visible success, she looks at all that and says no thanks. This choice looks strange to friends and family. Why stay modest when you can afford luxury? But for her, it is one of the smartest decisions she makes. She understands a hidden trap. Every upgrade comes with new costs, not just money, but time, worry, and attention. A bigger house needs more cleaning and higher bills. A luxury car brings higher insurance and the pressure to maintain its image. She prefers to keep life lighter, so her energy stays available for things that actually matter to her. Picture a woman who earns well in tech or business. Colleagues drive the latest cars and live in upscale neighborhoods. She keeps her reliable, paid-off car and lives in a comfortable but simple home. She invests the difference quietly instead of showing it off. When her company offers a big promotion that would demand longer hours and more travel, she turns it down because the extra money is not worth the lost peace. Years later, while others feel trapped by expensive lifestyles and high-pressure jobs, she has options. She can take time off, explore interests, or redirect her life direction without panic. This minimalism gives her something rare, true choice. She buys quality items that last instead of chasing trends. Her home feels calm, not cluttered with things she rarely uses. She travels when she wants, but stays in meaningful places rather than chasing expensive resorts for photos. Friends sometimes joke that she lives below her means. What they miss is that she lives above the pressure they feel every month. The wisdom here runs deep. Money loses its power when it stops controlling your schedule and self-worth. By rejecting the upgrade spiral, she keeps her freedom intact. She works because she chooses to, not because bills force her. This creates space for thinking, creating, and building the kind of life that feels rich from the inside, not just on the surface. Most high earners become prisoners of their own success. She stays free. That single decision gives her power, clarity, and peace that expensive things can never buy. It is quiet rebellion against a world that says more is always better. And in the end, it often leads to greater wealth, both in her bank account and in her life. Number 5, they weaponize invisibility. While others amplify presence online and IRL for opportunities, SpicyLady-Sigma vanish strategically. Sometimes the smartest move is to disappear on purpose. SpicyLady-Sigma have mastered something powerful that most people never consider. They weaponize invisibility. While everyone else works hard to stay visible online and in real life, posting updates, attending every event, and building their personal brand, she chooses to vanish at the right moments. She steps back strategically, becomes quiet, and watches from the edges. To many, this looks backwards. Why hide when the world rewards being seen? But this habit gives her a massive advantage that others rarely understand. She knows constant visibility comes with a cost. It makes you predictable. People learn your patterns, your opinions, your next moves. By pulling away at key times, she creates space. In that space, she observes, thinks, and gathers information without giving much away in return. This creates what you could call information asymmetry. She learns far more about the people and situations around her than they learn about her. Imagine a woman in a competitive workplace. While colleagues constantly share their projects on social media and speak up in every meeting to stay noticed, she does her work quietly. Then she takes periods where she shares almost nothing. During those times, she listens carefully in conversations, notices office politics, and studies how decisions really get made. When the time is right, she speaks once with clear, well-thought-out ideas. Because she stayed invisible longer, her words carry more weight. People wonder where her insights came from. The truth is, she saw everything while staying unseen. The same happens in personal life. She might go quiet on social media for weeks or months. Friends assume she is busy or distant. In reality, she is watching how relationships shift, who stays consistent, and who only reaches out when they need something. This gives her clear eyes when choosing who to trust and how deep to let people in. This backwards withdrawal builds natural mystique. People become more curious about her because she does not chase attention. More importantly, it protects her energy and thinking. She avoids the exhaustion of performing for likes and approval. Instead, she invests that time in real growth and sharp understanding of the world around her. In a noisy world that pushes everyone to be seen, choosing strategic invisibility feels rare and wise. It hands her control. She moves through life with clearer vision because less of her is exposed. Others see only what she allows. That quiet edge often leads to better decisions, stronger boundaries, and opportunities that come to her instead of her chasing them. It is a powerful way to live on your own terms. Number 6, they hoard knowledge and skills in obscurity rather than monetizing or displaying them for status. Years spent mastering esoteric domains in private while peers hustle for clout. Some of the most valuable things in life grow best in the dark. SpicyLady-Sigma often spend years quietly mastering skills and knowledge that bring them no public applause. They dive deep into subjects most people would call random or useless. They study obscure parts of history, learn complex systems most never need, practice rare crafts, or explore technical topics just for the sake of understanding. While their friends and colleagues hustle to turn every hobby into side income or post progress for likes and followers, she keeps her growth almost completely private. To the outside world, this looks lazy or even backwards. Why work so hard on something if you're not going to show it off or make money from it right away? But there is powerful wisdom in this choice. When you keep your learning away from the spotlight, it stays pure. No pressure to perform or simplify ideas for an audience. She can make mistakes, go down strange paths, and follow curiosity wherever it leads. That freedom creates real depth. Consider a woman who spent 7 years studying old languages and ancient texts in her free time. She never turned it into a course or social media content. At work, when a complex international problem arose that involved cultural nuances and hidden meanings, her quiet knowledge gave her a unique edge. Colleagues were stunned by her insights. She solved what others could not because her understanding was real, not surface level for show. Another example is the woman who taught herself advanced practical skills, like repairing old machinery and understanding basic engineering principles, all while holding a normal office job. She never bragged or created content about it. When supply chain issues hit and equipment broke down, her private expertise saved her team time and money. No one could copy her ability quickly because she had built it slowly and honestly over years away from public eyes. This private mastery creates something special. Her competence becomes unshakable. Trends change, social media accounts get canceled, markets shift, but deep knowledge that lives inside her cannot be taken away. It gives her quiet confidence and real options in life. In a world obsessed with personal brands and quick visibility, choosing obscurity feels strange. Yet it protects the purity of learning and builds strength that lasts. She collects real power instead of applause. That single difference often leads to greater respect, better opportunities, and a mind that stays free. It is wisdom most miss until they see the results years later. Number 7, they reject leadership roles even when naturally dominant in competence. Alphas chase the throne. SpicyLady-Sigma observe the court's stupidity from the edges and only step in if it serves a private goal. Power is easy to grab. Protecting your peace while having real influence is the harder, wiser game. SpicyLady-Sigma do something that puzzles a lot of people. Even when they clearly have the skills and natural ability to lead, they often turn down leadership roles. They watch from the edges, see exactly how things work, and only step forward when it truly serves a goal that matters to them personally. To others, this looks like underachievement or wasted potential. Why not take the title, the recognition, and the bigger paycheck when you are clearly capable? The answer reveals deep wisdom. She sees what leadership really costs. It is not just hard work. It is endless meetings, office politics, managing egos, and the pressure to always appear strong even when the system feels broken. She watches colleagues chase promotions, only to spend their days handling complaints, playing politics, and slowly losing pieces of themselves. The throne comes with chains. One woman turned down a manager position twice, even though her boss pushed for it. On paper, it made no sense. More money, more status. But she had quietly observed how the role drained the previous managers. Long hours arguing over small decisions, taking blame for team failures, and pretending to support ideas she knew were weak. Instead, she stayed in her individual role, kept her energy high, and focused on work she actually enjoyed. When big problems came up, leaders still came to her for solutions because her mind stayed clear and sharp. She influenced outcomes without carrying the title or the headaches. Another example is the woman in a community group who had the best ideas and natural organizing skills. People wanted her to run things. She gently refused and stayed as a regular member. From that position, she could speak honestly without worrying about keeping everyone happy. Her suggestions carried weight precisely because she was not fighting for power. When she finally did take charge of one specific project that aligned with her values, she led it with full focus and delivered excellent results without the usual drama. This choice protects something precious. By avoiding constant ego maintenance and politics, she keeps her thinking honest and her spirit intact. She leads when it matters to her, not when others expect it. In the end, she often creates more real impact with less burnout. Most people see leadership as the highest prize. She sees it as a tool, not a goal. That clear-eyed view gives her freedom and effectiveness that constant leaders rarely enjoy. It is a quiet form of mastery that looks like stepping back, but actually moves her forward on her own terms. Number 8, they choose emotional solitude during crises instead of leaning on support networks, while others broadcast vulnerability for sympathy and advice. The SpicyLady-Sigma withdraws to dissect her own psyche in silence. In the middle of the storm, the strongest move can be to step away and face it alone. SpicyLady-Sigma do something that feels completely backwards when life gets hard. During crises, heartbreak, loss, or big decisions, they choose emotional solitude. Instead of calling friends, posting for support, or seeking comfort from family, they pull back and sit with their thoughts in silence. They dissect their own feelings, examine what really happened, and work through the pain privately. To most people, this looks cold, distant, or even unhealthy. Why not lean on others like everyone else does? But this habit builds a special kind of strength that is hard to break. When you process difficulty alone, you hear your own voice clearly without outside noise. Friends mean well, but they bring their own experiences, fears, and advice that can mix up your truth. Family might comfort you in ways that keep you stuck. By stepping back, she avoids all that and reaches clearer understanding. Think about a woman who went through a painful breakup. Her friends wanted daily talks and girls' nights to vent. She chose to take long walks by herself, journal late at night, and sit with the heavy feelings without distractions. It was uncomfortable at first, but in that quiet space, she saw patterns in her choices that she had missed before. She understood what she truly needed in relationships instead of what she had been taught to want. Months later, she emerged stronger with better boundaries and no bitterness. Her friends were still processing the same pain. While she had already moved forward with calm confidence, the same pattern appears in career setbacks. When a project failed or a job ended suddenly, she did not immediately seek opinions from her network. She took time alone to review what went wrong, what she could have done differently, and what the situation taught her about herself. This private reflection turned failures into precise lessons instead of shared stories that lose their power. This emotional solitude forges anti-fragile judgment. Her decisions become her own. She learns to trust her inner compass because she has tested it in tough times without outside voices changing the signal. Yes, it can feel lonely in the moment, but it prevents the confusion that comes when too many opinions pull you in different directions. In a world that says you should never face hard times alone, she proves the opposite. Strategic solitude during crises creates clearer thinking and deeper resilience. It is wisdom that turns pain into private power most people never discover. Number 9, they cultivate deliberate social awkwardness or bluntness in polished environments. Instead of smoothing interactions for likability, they let silence hang or state inconvenient observations. Sometimes the most honest thing you can do is let the silence sit there. SpicyLady-Sigma handles social situations in a way that feels risky and strange to most people. In nice, professional, or friendly settings where everyone works hard to keep things smooth and pleasant, they allow deliberate social awkwardness or blunt honesty. They do not rush to fill every quiet moment or soften their words to make others like them more. Instead, they let silence hang in the air or calmly state observations that others might avoid because they feel uncomfortable. This habit looks awkward or even rude at first. Why not just go along and keep the peace like normal, but there is sharp wisdom behind it. By refusing to smooth every interaction, she filters people quickly and naturally. Most will pull away because they prefer easy, surface-level talk. The few who stay are the ones willing to connect on something real. Think about a team meeting at work. Everyone is carefully dancing around a problem that is costing time and money. Others nod along or make gentle suggestions. She sits quietly for a moment, then says plainly, "This approach is not working because we are avoiding the real issue of poor planning." The room gets tense. Some people shift uncomfortably and later distance themselves from her, but the colleagues who value truth start seeking her out for honest conversations. Those relationships become stronger and more useful than dozens of polite ones. The same thing happens in personal life. At a social gathering, when conversation stays shallow and full of small talk, she might not force herself to laugh along or change the subject to something lighter. She lets the moment feel a bit uncomfortable or shares a deeper thought that changes the energy. Many people move on to easier company. The ones who engage find themselves in meaningful discussions that actually matter. This deliberate choice saves her enormous energy. She skips years of fake friendships and shallow networks. In return, she builds connections based on real respect instead of performance. That IT takes courage because it can feel lonely in the short term. Over time, though, it creates a circle of people who accept her as she is. In a world where most people perform likability to fit in, choosing blunt honesty and comfortable silence becomes a powerful filter. It reveals character fast and builds depth with the right people. That single habit leads to relationships and opportunities that feel solid because they were never built on pretending. It is quiet wisdom that pays off in trust and peace most polished interactions never deliver. Final words, true strength often looks like madness to those still playing by the old rules. After looking closely at these 9 backwards habits, one truth stands out. SpicyLady-Sigma do not live to impress or fit in. They live to stay free in a world that constantly tries to pull everyone into the same patterns of chasing, performing, and belonging. What seems strange to others, declining great opportunities, choosing silence in hard times, keeping knowledge private, or rejecting the constant push for more is actually careful protection of their time, mind, and spirit. These choices are not perfect. They can feel lonely. They sometimes create misunderstandings with people who expect more warmth or participation, but they produce something rare, a life that belongs fully to the woman living it. She builds real competence that cannot be taken away. She keeps her thinking clear because she tests her own ideas instead of collecting opinions. She avoids traps that look like success, but quietly demand her soul in return. Most of us have felt the pressure to say yes to things that later drain us. We have stayed visible when we needed rest. We have performed for approval we did not even want. Watching how SpicyLady-Sigma move differently gives us permission to question those patterns in our own lives. Not everyone will understand your need for space, your careful choices, or your refusal to join every race. That is fine. Understanding yourself is what matters. These 9 habits are not a checklist to copy. They are reminders that real power often grows in quiet decisions most people overlook. The woman who protects her peace, questions her own thoughts, and builds life on her own terms, ends up with something money and status cannot buy. An inner steadiness that lasts. Take what fits your life, leave the rest. But never underestimate the strength that comes from choosing your own path, even when it looks completely backwards to everyone else. Thank you for watching and God bless you.